Hi everybody, I'm here in the nursery tunnel and I wanted to give you an update. So this video is going to be about our RHS Malvern Spring Festival plant sowing and our plans for the Flora Marquee and what we're doing to get ready for that. It's now the first week in October and we've actually sown and already have some seedlings on the go. So what I'll do is I'll take you through what that looks like so you get an idea of how we do it here to prepare for the Spring Festival. So I have to put my hands up and admit that this is my second time in recording this because actually the first time I did it, I placed the microphone in a really crappy location and it was brushing against my face and you couldn't really hear what I was saying, so all of that video footage was lost. And unfortunately, that was the footage that involved the actual sowing of the seed. So that was about a week ago. So I'm going to show you now sort of a week and a half on from that what it actually looks like, and I'll sort of walk you through what I did to get to that stage. So as you can see, we've sown our seeds into propagators, and these are just standard the large Vitapod propagators, and we've set it to be about 28 degrees Celsius. And what we've done is about a week and a half ago I actually filled these trays with compost, and then I sowed the seeds. I sowed about 5 or 6 seeds per tray, and then I covered it with vermiculite. We like to use vermiculite because that sort of gives it a bit more air to the seeds without it being too compact, and the actual seedlings break through much easier. So you can see here really nice healthy growth in some of them. They've pushed through, and actually these were sown, you can see there on the labels that they were sown on the 29th of September, and it's now the beginning of October, and look how big and strong they are. Some of them actually germinated well within 5 days of being sown. No, the Serrano unsurprisingly germinates really quickly. So we've got lots of healthy seedlings sitting in here, and we've actually got that last row at the back there. Some of you with the keen eyes might be able to read my label handwriting. Some of those that are coming up there, you can see a little seedling in there. Those are our crossbred varieties, so they've started to come up, which is really exciting. So one of the issues that we had last year was that when the seedlings germinated, quite a lot of them died from damping off and fusarium. So that attacks the seedlings when they're really young. If there's sort of damp, stagnant air around near the base, and the fungus just goes and sort of kills the seedling off, and they flop over and die. So what I've done this year is I've put a fan in there to sort of bring a bit more air circulation in. And as the autumn progresses and we get closer into winter, it gets more critical that you have good airflow, not just the heat. That whirling sound in the background is Izzy getting ready to water some of the specimen plants. So yeah, that's the setup at the moment for Malvern. What I'll do next is I'm going to go and thin out some of those seedlings in that propagator, and I'm going to show you how I go about doing that. So I need to thin out these seedlings. Ultimately, it needs to have one seedling per module, and they will eventually grow on and get potted on. But at the moment, not all of them are ready to be thinned out, but certainly some of them, you know, for example, that red missile back there, it's got loads of seeds in it, as is the Serrano over there. So just to give you an idea of what I do, nothing too complicated. I just go in and I look to see, I find 2 seedlings which are nice and healthy and are like sort of really far apart from each other physically in the sort of module there, so that when I do lift the roots, there's the least amount of damage possible. So what I'd say is probably this little one back there is a little bit weedy, so I'll take that out. You can see there's that seedling. Just put that on the side, and I go around and I do that for as many of the seedlings as I can, leaving just 2 healthy ones in there. So we've still got about 5 in there. What I'd probably do is I'll take this one out, and I'll take sort of this one out over here. So now I've got 3 seedlings left. I'd probably just remove 1 more from the middle, and that leaves just 2 in there. And then I'll just tidy up that cell a little bit there, and that leaves 2 of them in there. And those 2 seedlings will then, I'll leave them until they sort of produce their first true leaf outside of those 2 cotyledon seed leaves. And then once that's happened, I'll then remove the final seedling and then leaving just one, which will be the most mature one. It's easy for nice big healthy seedlings, and that when it gets into smaller ones, sort of the red missiles and some of the tinier seedlings, it's a little bit trickier. But the plan is to sort of go through and thin them out. You can see here, this red missile cell is, that's 100% germination rate. All the seeds I sown in there have germinated, but clearly some are weaker than others. There's a yellowing one over there that's not doing so well. So I'll take that out. And all of these, you take them out, and I'm not going to leave that plant material in there because that could potentially have disease, although it doesn't. Just to be on the safe side, we'll move it to a bench, and that will go with all the other plant material down to the compost heap. So final thing is I wanted to show you was you've noticed I've got three trays in here, two to the left, one a little module with the temperature probe in the center, and then one on the right hand side. So this one on the right hand side is identical to the other two, except that this one has been treated with a sort of a fungal inoculant, mycorrhizal fungi, trichoderma, lots of other species, and it was a bag that was left over from last year that wasn't looking the best, so we actually used it in here to sort of as a trial to see if it actually is work, and it looks remarkably well. The germination rate in this tray is looking almost identical to the two others. So yeah, I think that was a success. So thanks for watching, and what I'll do is I'll update you with further videos as and when things happen with these seedlings in the propagator. They're going to grow on in there for the next few weeks, and eventually in probably by the end of October we'll set up the grow tent and move them in there so that they get enough light as the daylight hour starts dropping. So hope that was interesting, and catch you next time.